Like, I'm glad it's never happened, but I feel like I'm missing out on not getting stung by it. Oh, hey, what's up? Do you need something? The show? Oh, we went on hiatus. Whoa, okay, the show, alright.
Portalpilled is filmed in front of a live studio audience.
Hello, I am portalpilled and I love Portal. Wheatley Portal 2. What a guy! Little known fact about me, but Wheatley from Portal 2 is one of my favorite written characters of all time. Just a silly thing he is. Some people think he's evil. Why's that? Who knows? Alright, show's over now. Alright, okay! Pushy group, aren't ya? Now you may be assuming by the title of this video, I have a specific video or theory post in mind while making this, but in reality, this is a gripe I've had for years after hearing countless of bad takes on a character I love. This theory isn't one I can outright disprove, but rather find it to be a dull and uninformed read of the text. So today, I'm going to be playing Devil's Advocate, and then beating up said Devil's Advocate with my posse of burly men. So, what is this theory? Well, the gist is, Wheatley was always planning to backstab Chell from the beginning because he's, well, evil. Now, at first glance, this can be seen as, oh god, I can't do it. Even at first glance, this is so bad, but no, I gotta stay kind. At first glance, this theory may seem to have some merit. The transformation Wheatley goes through here does seem kind of quick, throwing players off to the point that the twist that he was always evil might seem logical in the moment. But let's really dig into the transformation here, okay? Let's find the reasons Wheatley does the things he does. When Wheatley takes over the facility suddenly being in power, an easy explanation for why he switches up is how having control over the facility actually works. It's mentioned many times by GLaDOS that the facility forces her to want to test. Wheatley in the moment even backs this up by suddenly mid-sentence realizing that he could test Chell himself. He's even upset when she gets punched into the pit, because he doesn't want to just take over the facility, he wants to specifically test Chell himself and needs her alive to do so.
Ah! Can a moron do that?
And yeah, that is a pretty good way to disprove this theory, but I have more evidence for both sides of this argument. I mean, wouldn't really be worth the video, right? So let's be honest here. Wheatley is stupid. It's quite literally the whole point of his character, to be an intelligence dampening sphere.
Oh, that's me they're talking about.
I find it hard for him to have the ability to manipulate Chell from the beginning, being cold and calculated with his decisions, because he's just not. Wheatley before the twist is kind and tries his best to help Chell even when he isn't that much help at all, and of course you can argue that he's playing it up, but if he really wanted to take control of Aperture, I don't think he would foolishly reactivate GLaDOS in the process. It really shows a lack of planning on everything, and if Wheatley can't even plan this far ahead, why would he have a plan to betray Chell further on? Wheatley's lack of ability to plan out in the future is a huge part of his character. He gets worried about leaving his management rail, he strolls into dead ends, doesn't have a plan for how he's supposed to get to the surface or even what he wants up there.
Also, once I eject myself out of the core, the lift might stop. Then we'd be trapped in a lift full of broken glass, suspended 50 feet off the ground. You know what? Just get in the lift and we'll iron out the details as we go.
All he knows is he doesn't belong in Aperture because, well, he's an artificial intelligence created to be unintelligent. He doesn't belong, and that's all he seems to know. But of course you can still say that he's stupid at planning but is still emotionally intelligent, and I'd have to say that's still incorrect. Let me let you in on a piece of Wheatley lore that not many people know about. Wheatley cares about Chell more than you may know. In the final boss fight with Wheatley, there are some lines that he will give you if you just suck at the game and let him monologue.
You never caught me. I told you I could die. Falling off that rail, you didn't catch me. Didn't even try. But he's no more use to you. He has a little accident, doesn't he? Falls off his management rail, doesn't he? You're in this together, aren't you? Then, when I reluctantly assume the responsibility of running the place, you conveniently decide to run off together. Just when I need you the most.
He expresses genuine feelings of betrayal for not being caught from his rail here, spiraling into a conspiracy theory about how Chell never cared for him, creating the story that Chell and GLaDOS wanted to run away together, which just isn't the case. With this, we can see that he's not able to keep his emotions in check, but that's not the only line I want to show you from this. If you keep being so monstrously bad at the game, he will also say this.
And we could have talked our way out of it, except you forgot to tell me that you murdered her, and that she needed you to live. So the only available vent for her rage would be good old crushable Wheatley. Yeah, little details that I remember. Easy little tidbits you could have used to save me from getting crushed if you cared, which you didn't, obviously, and still do not.
A lot of people miss this part when dissecting Wheatley's character when I find it to be the most interesting part of him. He feels genuine betrayal here from being crushed by GLaDOS, and I can't really blame him that much. In his mind, Chell could have signaled him in any way that she was the one who took down GLaDOS. Now, of course, this is his line of thinking. Chell has her reasons not to speak to robots, but from Wheatley's perspective, this would have hurt his feelings at the very least. He was the one to free her from cryosleep, and he seems to seriously think that they have a relationship of some sort here. So for me, this rules out the idea that he was always planning to betray her, because he's clearly very emotionally invested in Chell. Aside from his investment in Chell, he just seems to be a little too genuine with his emotions to be faking them. I mean, look at the joy he has from experiencing the world off of his rail for the first time.
They should take us right to her. I can't believe I'm finally doing this. Woo! I knew this would be fun. They told me it wasn't fun at all, so they said it's not fun at all. And I believed them. I was a fool to myself. Oh, and I'm loving this. Whale of a time.
Note the fact he was told never to do this. He has no idea why going off his intended purpose here would ever be a bad thing because he's having so much fun. He doesn't understand that he himself is the trouble, unknowingly a walking disaster. Or I guess, rolling disaster. I mean, it's a shock for him during the transfer scene of what his purpose even is. He has an emotional outburst at being called stupid, at realizing that's all he's good for, that Chell did all the work. There are so many scenes in this game that show Wheatley experience the world for the first time and the joy he gets from that. But it wouldn't be fair for me to show you these lines without mentioning the biggest piece of evidence for the theory that Wheatley is evil. That being this.
First told you how to find that little portal thing you love so much. Well, I thought you'd die on the way, if I'm honest. All the others did. You didn't think you were the first, did you? No. Fifth. No, I lied. Sixth. Perhaps it's best to leave it to your imagination what happened to the other five. You know what? I think we're well past the point of tasteful restraint, so I'll tell you what happened to them. They died. Horrifically. They all died horrifically. Trying to get to that portal device that you're gripping in your meaty little fingers there.
Now, at a first glance, that's a big reveal. Wheatley has killed people? Nice, bro. I mean, no! But let's really dissect what he's saying here and why he's only bringing it up now. So first, let's ask the question. Did Wheatley actually kill these people personally? No, he didn't. Did he get them killed? Probably, maybe, but definitely not on purpose. He goes on to say here that these people died while attempting to get the portal gun, none of them even actually getting their hands on it, which, hypothetically, if Wheatley had planned out to take over the facility, he wouldn't want these people to die, obviously. So why is he bringing it up? Well, here in the boss fight, it's very clear that he's trying his hardest to seem menacing, often inflating how powerful and in control of the situation he actually is. But obviously this isn't the case. Wheatley, as much as I love my sphere, is incompetent as ever, so the reason he is bringing this up is so he seems more scary than he actually is. I'd also like to argue this piece of dialogue is used to further characterize Chell as being unique and the only one able to survive Aperture, so the line works to cement both of their characters rather than make any revelations about them. But portalpilled, you say? Couldn't you make the argument that Wheatley was faking this the whole time? For that, my dear viewer, I say, I guess, yeah. See, the reason I said in the beginning of this video that I couldn't 100% disprove it was because there's always going to be someone out there who says that this could technically be a part of his master plan or that he was always hiding his evilness. And that's just something I can't disprove. But to the people still holding on to that idea, let me ask you this. Does that make a better story? I've always found the idea that Wheatley was always evil to be a boring conclusion to a character written with this much depth. Don't you think it's more interesting to tell a different story with him? A story about corruption, betrayal, misinterpretation, dependency, and a yearning for freedom from a place that he was born to fail in. Wheatley himself is a twist villain, sure, but what makes him unique is that he never intended to be. If he had intentions to be a villain, I don't think he'd stand out as much as he does because even after the twist, he's still clearly himself. Still dopey, still incompetent, and still over-emotional. Thank you for watching this video. Sorry it was a short one. I recently just finished up my college work and got a certificate in video game art stuff, but now I'm free and I can make more videos. If you want to support me, consider joining my Patreon where you can grab all the assets I've made for videos, scripts, updates, and your name read out at the end of the video. Speaking of which, thank you to the patrons Jemmy Chris, Rocket Rifter, Spades Gaming, and Milky Chip. If you like the art in this video, consider commissioning me. I draw for money. And last and honestly least, consider following me on social media, but that's not really important. Thank you for watching. I've been your host portalpilled and have a wonderful night.